Hi, what up? So, if you're not completely new to the channel, then you'll almost certainly have seen this guitar before in the background of pretty much any of my videos. This here is my old Harley Benton Rock Series Super Strat, and the reason I say old is because this one is from before Harley Benton was good. Harley Benton, as they are now, are famous for being one of the best bang-for-buck guitar brands in the world. Sure, they've gotten some bad press recently, what with the whole Glenn Fricker ungrounded guitars thing, not to mention the whole KDH Telecaster debacle, which they really did piss the bed on that one, and I'm not even going to try to defend it because they don't deserve that. However, overall, they are famous for being good. Not just good for the money, good full stop. But this thing here is from an era where they were not even good for the money. I honestly couldn't tell you what year it's from. It doesn't even have a serial number anywhere on it. I suppose maybe before I bought it for €90 locally on eBay 4 years ago, someone replaced the neck plate or something. But yes, the price I paid for it speaks volumes. This shit sucks. Harley Benton have since kept their progressive series line going, and I think at this point they even have like genuine Floyd Rose specials rather than these licensed ones. However, I've tried those and I don't like them as much as this particular old one. Why is that? The reason it's always been one of my favorite guitars, despite the fact that it's objectively horrible, is A, the aesthetics of it. I mean, look at it. I'd pay $90 for it just as a decoration if it weren't playable. Isn't this one of the most beautiful guitars you've ever seen? And B, the neck. This neck is incredible. It is smooth and buttery. It has the perfect shreddy thin but not too thin profile. These frets are filed to perfection and they haven't worn down one bit since I bought it 4 years ago, even though they've been abused extensively. And I've come to notice it has a very strong and resilient neck. In the more than 4 years that I've owned it, I've had to make 2 minor adjustments to the truss rod. That's it. So this thing really is a workhorse, but what sucks about it? Well, A, the old stock Harley Benton pickups did, so much so in fact that less than a week after I bought it, I slammed in a pair of Gibson SG pickups that I found on eBay for cheap. It's currently packing the fake Seymour Duncan Blackout pickups from AliExpress that I made a video with because I needed a vessel for those. But worst of all is this tremolo. Now, not all licensed Floyd Roses suck by any means. This is a 1991 Washburn N2 and it has a Washburn 600S licensed Floyd Rose tremolo that I have never had to retune between string changes ever. However, of course, this guitar was considerably cheaper, and so the licensed Floyd that's on it is not even double locking. Now in a little while I'm going to go a bit more in depth about why this particular tremolo sucks so much while I'm, making some changes to the guitar, but for now let's get to what I'm going to do to it. For pickups, I've decided to go with these active gold Fishman Fluence modern humbuckers to finally complete the red and gold aesthetic of this guitar entirely. I've been a fan of Fishman Fluence pickups for years, and so I approached the company asking if they'd like to send a pair out to make this video a bit easier on my wallet, and they were more than happy to, so on ya, Fishman. And to replace this god-awful tremolo, I've decided to go with a Schala Lockmeister tremolo because I like those. So for the next portion of this video, I'll hand over to Voice Over Me, and I'm gonna get cooking.
Alright, the first order of business was to remove the crappy counterfeit Seymour Duncan pickups and then install the Fishmans. Now I am no stranger to Fishman Fluence pickups. I've played many a Fishman in my life, however I've never installed a set of them, and it proved to be quite a bit more difficult than I expected it to be, probably mainly because they're active pickups and I've never installed those either. Now I am no expert. I certainly do enjoy a wiring diagram for stuff like this, and I couldn't find one online for the exact type of guitar that I was using here, but not to worry. I emailed Fishman support, got an email back first thing the next day with that exact diagram I was looking for, and I got to work. Now it was smooth sailing from here on out because, once you know where to put everything, soldering is easy. It's never the soldering that f***s with me, it's always the knowing where everything goes. I flunked physics in high school, I'm no electronics technician, but I'm good at soldering when I know where things go. So now that the pickups that Fishman had generously sent me had been installed, really the only thing left to do was install the Schala Lockmeister tremolo that I'd bought for this project as well. Now remember when I said that I'd go into more detail on why the tremolo that was on the guitar is such a piece of junk? Those black fastening screws at the back of literally any Floyd Rose style bridge in the world? Well, this thing doesn't have those screws. Instead it has tubes in the back which you feed the guitar strings through and the ball ends get caught in like in any regular guitar bridge. So once I'd taken that bridge off and tried to fit my Schala Lockmeister on it, I encountered 2 issues. A, the Schala used a different type of pegs, those 2 pegs that create the fulcrum for the floating bridge, and the screws for those pegs were much thicker so that they couldn't fit into the pre-made Harley Benton bushings, so now I had to remove those gold bushings somehow, which proved to be more difficult than I thought in the end. We'll get back to that in a second. But also, those black fastening screws are longer than the tubes in the back of this licensed Harley Benton Floyd Rose, meaning there was now a protuberance beyond the bounds of the hole that had been routed out for the regular junk factory Floyd Rose in the form of those screws, which were now sitting firmly on top of the guitar body, preventing the tremolo from moving backwards at all, much like a top-mounted Floyd Rose, which is my least favorite kind. Not just that, but over time this would have also severely damaged the wood and the finish. There is now only one way to conquer this issue, and it is to remove material from the guitar. I absolutely did not want to do that, but I was neck deep in this project at this point, so I kinda had to. In the meantime, while all of the tremolo screws had been going on, I was trying to figure out how I would get those bushings out of the guitar. Now, a popular method for getting screw bushings out of a guitar is to drop a small screw head first into the hole and then screw the regular screw in until it sort of leverages the bushing upwards. Now, I'd done this previously in different settings without any sort of issue, but this guitar being what it is, which is a used Harley Benton that I got for 90 bucks on eBay, these screws, even being down there head first, were pushed through the soft wood into just the middle of the guitar and were now stuck in there, creating even bigger of an issue because I now no longer could have just drilled down the middle of the bushing. So I'm not going to elaborate on every other goddamn attempt I took at removing these bushings over the course of like 3 or 4 days, but instead I'm going to skip to the end, at which point I had lost my mind and I said, "F it, I'm going to drill through the back of the guitar, push the bushings out with a screwdriver, and just, have it done that way." It's not the most eloquent of methods, but it's what I did, and it worked, and there are now 2 holes in the back of the guitar. So all I had to do now was go up gradually in drill bit sizes until I'd reached almost the size of the new bushing for the new Floyd Rose pegs. Now back to the removing wood situation. I just showed a couple clips in which there was already a bunch of the wood removed, so I'll show you how I did that. I kind of loosely measured where the Charlotte tremolo would end, put a piece of masking tape there to mark the spot where I had to, stop removing material, and then I started drilling holes into the area that I wanted removed. Then I drilled holes in the areas between the holes, then I just kind of started drilling from the inside, from the side, from the back, whatever. I just drilled to remove as much material as I could with a regular drill bit. Yes, a Forstner drill bit could have taken care of this within a span of 3 minutes, however, I don't have one of those and I'd already kind of exceeded the budget for this video. So at some point, the drill had done all the drill could do, so we ended up with sort of an open surgery wound that looked a little something like this. So what now? Well, after nothing came to mind for a while, I aired my grievances in my Patreon Discord server, and someone said I need a chisel. Now, I'd considered a chisel, however, in order to purchase a chisel that would arrive sharp enough to actually do the job without me also needing to buy a whetstone to sharpen it, I'd need to spend more money than I was willing to spend on a chisel. So one of my generous patrons said, "Hey, I'll buy you a chisel if you give me a shout out in this video anonymously and read out this message on the channel." This actually happened, I'm not making this up, so yes, this beautiful, wonderfully sharpened Stanley chisel was brought to me by an anonymous benefactor who wishes that all Pantera fans would just stop it already. No, this isn't just an excuse for me to piss off Pantera fans, this actually happened and I don't forfeit money in exchange for something this simple. Yeah, from here on out it actually went pretty smoothly. So once that was done, I painted the raw wood area red again with my sister's nail polish like any true professional would. Then I attached the tremolo, strung up the guitar, realized I wasn't happy with the padding I'd put underneath the tremolo, removed the trem again with the strings on it, put one of those self-adhesive foam furniture pads underneath the trem for padding, realized one of the tremolo pegs was in kinda crooked, so I used some shrapnel from a guitar pick to sort of shim it back into place, put the tremolo back on, tuned up the guitar, and here it is.
that's the video. Thanks to you for watching. Special thanks to Fishman for being super cool, very cooperative and easy to work with, and sending me these incredible Fluence Modern pickups for this project. Big thanks also to my Patreon members. Here are all of their wonderful names. The red highlighted ones are subscribed to the $11 tier or higher. You know, you can also become a patron in exchange for all of these wonderful benefits for $1.90 a month, whatever that is in euro right now. If you enjoyed this video, you can watch my most recent one somewhere up here. You can sub to my channel somewhere down there if you feel like it. All my social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook are linked in the description. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, buy merch in the description. Goodbye, I'll see you.